Welcome to the 11th Esri Africa User Conference. We are glad to have you here to join us and to go through the 3 days of networking, 3 days of learning how the GIS technology has evolved. Yes. So we hope that you also get time to go through the city and get to see Kisumu city itself. We have 18 moderated sessions for different industries, 12 technical sessions where you get to see some of the developments we have with the ArcGIS platform. 9 exhibitors are here, and we have them in the exhibitor room. You can just get to see what some of our partners in our technology are doing. And you'll have one-on-one sessions with our staff at our booth. At the booth we have at Devo Island, where you will see some of the things that we've not been able to cover in the technical sessions. We'll also have a customer care representative. For some of you who have been experiencing challenges here and there, you can definitely just go there to be assisted. And for Tanzania, we have our Tanzania representative for our office in Arusha, who can just basically just connect with you. So, some information. The Wi-Fi passwords have been indicated on the boards on either side. We'd like for you to plug in to the rest of the world on the conference by sharing on social media, that is, with the hashtag EAUC2016. So we hope that you will get to post your experience on Facebook and on Twitter and on any other social media platform that you are in. For the person who has tweeted the most or shared the most, there'll be a gift that you'll be getting, so please go ahead and start sharing this information. For the rooms we have for the conference, we have this hall, and we have the exhibitors hall, which is to my left on this side, and we'll also have the map gallery on that section. So please just go around and get to see what people are presenting. For the washroom facilities, they are on the extreme right. You'll be able to find them there. In case you have any inquiries, you could go back to the registration desk. We have Victor, Helen, and Patricia there who can assist you with any challenge you have. You can also just stop any Esri Eastern Africa staff. We have the red lanyards, and you can just, in case you have any inquiry, definitely we'll try to assist you. At the end of the conference, on Saturday, we will have an ARC safari to Kakamega. I just had excitement in that. To Kakamega Forest National Reserve. So please register at the registration desk for that. We promise that it will be an exciting event. And just a slight correction on the agenda. On page 23 for the gold sponsor, the website should be Cortec without an H. Sorry about that. It should be coretec.co.ke. So once again, welcome. We look forward to engaging with all of you, with all the users that we have within the region. So to start us off with the conference, we have our Managing Director, Mr. Judah Bett. So Judah has been with Esri Eastern Africa from 2008, where he was there the capacity of the chairman of the organization. And until recently, in the month of June, he became our leader in this technology. And he is definitely a person who has a wealth of knowledge with our technology as well as selling. So welcome, Mr. Judah Bett. Thank you.
The Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Lands and Physical Planning, Honorable Chief of Kaimenyi, Director of Survey, Mr. Marian, the Under Secretary from the Ministry of Lands, my good friend, the Chief Officer Lands, Mr. Obura, CECs from the counties, and this county of Kisumu, other chief officers, directors of various organizations, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I feel so excited and enlightened to see a house full beyond our expectation, to the extent that some of you have no chairs. This indeed is a great honor to us. I want to ask you to bear with the inconvenience of standing, because it shows that we are hungry. I mean, for knowledge. In these words of English of angry and anger and the rest. I'm glad you are here. This was also going to be a special event for us. We marked 10 years as Esri Eastern Africa. And we planned early in the year to have the chief CEO, we call him the president of Esri International, also the founder of GIS, Dr. Jack Benjamin. Unfortunately, he's a man of 70 years and is currently limiting his traveling. He had other engagements and he was not able to come. I made a special effort to go and hold him by hand to bring him to Kenya to mark this special event. The best he could do was to address us via video. Please bear with me to hear Jack Benjamin for only 6 minutes. Thank you. Welcome.
Good morning, so people of you. Karibu, Kisumu, Karibu, Kenya. It's our pleasure to welcome you once again. This is our 11th user conference, this time being held at the lake, the greatest lake in Africa. It's a special day indeed, and I wish to express my disappointment that this great event, I intended that the president of Esri, my partner Jack Benjamin, was going to be with us. And I went all the way to California to try and bring him along. I'm still recovering from the jet lag. The best I could do was to get Jack to speak to you this morning and to welcome. Please join me in welcoming Jack.
Judah, thank you so much. Thank you, all of you, for coming to this meeting. It's my great pleasure. Kenya is one of my favorite places, and so your special invitation was not ignored, and I tried my very best, but I simply couldn't make it. I do wish you a welcome to this meeting. These meetings where our users get together and they hear from us about the technology, but more importantly, they hear from each other about how they're using technology. This is an important meeting. These meetings are very important because they allow us to learn and grow and enrich each other with our technical experiences, but also our personal experiences in making GIS and geography part of our organizations. So I appreciate you giving me a chance to share a bit about what we're up to here in California. We're in California right now, by the way. Not too far from Hollywood. It's a little embarrassing, but in California, but also in our research labs in different countries, we're working on pressing the envelope of GIS. It has traditionally been desktop tools and server technology, and some of you are certainly deploying that in your work. We are also working on web GIS and cloud-based GIS services, and my colleagues will be sharing some of that work for you later today. We believe that this advancement is a big step. It's a step that will allow us not only to have specialists like yourselves doing GIS, but also extending the power and the benefits of GIS across organizations, outside of organizations, developing collaborative approaches between and among organizations, and also engaging the community, the citizens, through browsers or device apps or these sorts of things. So from my perspective, this is the most exciting time in GIS, and I'm pretty darn excited. I'm also very committed to supporting you here in East Africa. It's one of both my favorite places, but it's also a place of great change and great challenges. And our users, as I've listened to Judah over the last day here, you guys are addressing very important issues in lands, in water, in forestry and conservation, in looking at population growth and change. These are challenging issues that governments around the world, but particularly in your region, are facing and need your help desperately. So I'm very pleased that Judah has stepped up and taken a powerful leadership position in our organization, working with Patrick, of course, and we're just getting to know each other better and trying to lay out strategy plans here while Judah is in California about how we can best serve you there locally. And part of that matrix is my good friend Sohail. I don't know if you know Sohail, but he's here in the audience someplace. He runs our regional office in Dubai, which oversees all of Africa and also Middle Eastern countries. I mean, I would like you to meet him.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah, welcome, Sohail.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm extremely happy to be here with you in Kenya. I have a special passion and interest in Africa for a variety of reasons. One reason is I'm African, and I grew up in Africa. I mean, not so far from Kenya. I mean, a little bit to the north. So, I mean, personally, I have personal interest, Jack, for Africa. And I'm very much keen and happy to be here with you and to work with each one of you and supporting you achieving your goals. Our team in Dubai is working closely with Judah and Patrick and the rest of the partners and community in Eastern Africa in specific. So I'm here and I would love to meet with each one of you, and I'd be more than happy to have one-to-one discussion with anyone who's interested to learn more about Esri and how we're going to support you to achieve your goals. Thank you.
Now, one of the things we've been doing is investing heavily in Africa, and particularly Eastern Africa, from Ethiopia and Kenya and Tanzania and Uganda, in university development and education. This is a passion of myself, is capturing the hearts and the minds of young people who are going to be creating the future of Africa and introducing them to the science of geography and the technology of digital geography that sometimes we call GIS. On the user side, this means looking at lots of different roles in organizations. Coming out of colleges and universities, there are technical people now that are qualified that can actually take on the role, meaningful role of running GISs in organizations. And this is so important. We need it at the basic level. We need it at the professional level. And we also need it at the executive level. So I'm so pleased that some of your executives here, ministers, leaders in different agencies are here. So I want to express my personal thanks for coming here and speaking and sharing your vision, because it's inspiring to all of us. We're working, but if we can see management taking a genuine interest in giving us guidance and direction, this changes the whole game. I like to distinguish between content and context. And executives see context. What does this mean? What are the important problems that I can solve with this? How does this make government better? How can I drive better efficiency? Address the big problems of climate change. Address the problems of the environment and the complexities of urban growth, and make a smarter Uganda and a smarter Kenya and a smarter Nairobi and a smarter utility company and a smarter agency. So this notion of smart, which Sohail is very fond of talking about, is emerging in a digital transformation of our world. So that's in many ways what I want you to talk about as users, not simply your own work, which is magnificent. I've seen some of it. But also how you can collaborate and join hands and join forces to create a better Eastern African region. So
We just want to carry on with the education on GIS. Your involvement with the universities in East Africa is becoming a great success. We have with us Professor Simon Enwere, who is running a university lab, Kenyatta University. And this has been rolled out in Ethiopia and in Tanzania, Nelson Mandela University, the Adi University, the University of Dar es Salaam. And the passion that we see among the young, you will see the story maps that will be laid in the galleries. Please spare some time and see what our youth are doing. I think the future GIS is going to be indeed greater than today. And Jack, what motivated you to start at this whole thing?
well, early on in education, when I was in universities, a professor took an interest to show me how computers work and then how computer mapping worked. This was 50 years ago. And I got so passionate because I saw actually my whole life in a dream. And so I chased that passion, and it really turned out. I mean, I was able, if Esri existed when I graduated, I wouldn't have created it. I would have just gone to work there. But unfortunately it didn't, or maybe fortunately for me as a career path it didn't. But I love it, and I want to have kids who don't have that access to the technology have access to it. I want to create a learning culture in universities that's geographic in nature or geospatial in nature, so that the power of geography, the science of our world, becomes embedded in all education. My other experience about this is that kids at a young age can use GIS to do projects. I like this notion of project-based learning. And here in the US, we have about 4,000 elementary schools that are now using GIS from the cloud to do project-based learning. And they're getting active in their communities, like, let's say, doing a project in central Nairobi, or doing a project in central Addis, or whatever it is, to do an urban project, or kids working in agricultural communities, or sort of trying on the clothes of what it would be like to be a GIS professional by doing a real project. So these thousands of schools are now starting to actually have an impact in their communities by looking at pollution problems or crime problems or environmental problems. They're actually becoming participants in creating a better future. And that notion of giving kids the chance to play and innovate with GIS is very impactful. And I think, so maybe that's some of my motivation. I think a similar one, Judah, is startups. And I've read a lot about startups in Nairobi, for example, or startups in different African communities. And I really want to give them a chance to use the power of our software that we spend all this money on to be able to creatively play and innovate to come up with solutions about their cities, to create smarter cities or create smarter approaches to business or whatever. And that sort of innovative culture, I want to really empower you, and I want to empower all of our users here to work with us. We have a startup program where it gets software to young startup communities for free. They can use it. If they embed it and they suddenly grow up and become a big company or a powerful company, okay, then maybe there's some business that we can do together. But I want to make sure every innovator has access to our tools. And where that speaks to the user community is, I want you First, to adopt schools, help teachers use our tools to teach kids and grow up. This mentoring idea is very powerful. But also I want you to help startups or work in startup communities to help them think through the problems that they might solve for you as a new kind of innovative business. And I think this is very important for the future economy of Africa. I mean, kids in LA or in New York are no smarter than kids in Addis and Nairobi and Dar es Salaam. This is kids. And by providing them access to the best of technologies, man, I'm expecting huge results. I mean, the future digital economy of the world is going to belong to those who are innovative and can leverage all of this technology. It'll break down some of these barriers of the haves and the have-nots and do some great work. So I have lots of belief in you.
Thank you. I'm very glad that we have you. Next time, God willing, we'll see you in Nairobi. Please come.
I will come.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
John.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, join me in giving thanks to Jack and Sohail, who is among us here, to say thank you, thank you, thank you, God bless you. Come again.
Thank you.
And I am back from California. If Professor Kaimenyi was still the Minister for Education, you could see that Esri has invested very heavily. We have donated a number of licenses to all universities, public universities in Eastern Africa region. And for this matter, we also include Ethiopia as part of Eastern Africa territory because we are responsible for that region as well. Secondly, may I introduce or mention that Sohail unfortunately had to leave last night because of urgent matters back home, and he's not with us. Number two, I want to introduce the team from Ethiopia. If you are from Ethiopia, please, I want to give a special recognition. Are you here?
Yes, we're here.
Yes, those are friends and partners from Ethiopia. Friends, welcome. And we have also special friends from Uganda. Our neighbors from Uganda are here. Welcome. We have friends from Tanzania. Please welcome. Karibuni sana. We have colleagues from Kenya. Welcome. All will be there. Special welcome. In our Kenyan culture, when the president has spoken, nobody else speaks. But let me break the protocol. Jack has spoken, and here I am taking on again. It's almost a year now since we last met in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The year has gone very fast, but we are still in the geo world. And I'm glad that many of you are still passionate in this geo world. As Jack mentioned, this technology is no longer special. It is going right to the user community, to the kids. And mid-November, we will be having a GIS day, where we'll participate in many schools and many forums. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I ask you, I see it's a full room. I would have said, stand up, say hello to your neighbor. But since we are congested, just extend a hand, the left hand, the right hand, and say, welcome, karibu. Continue doing so today and for the rest of the week. Jack would have loved to say that one. Esri East Africa is a professional geospatial solutions company which seeks to inspire, educate, and provide working and innovative GIS solutions to all our clients with the aim of promoting geospatial technology as a solution for well-informed decision-making. The Ministry of Lands, here represented by high-powered delegation, the CS Lands is here. Yesterday we had a special session in Lands, and the Principal Secretary was present. Today we have the CS, we have Director of Survey, Mr. Mbaria, we have the Undersecretary, we have Chief of Staff from this county of Kisumu. So indeed, this is special to us. Kisumu and Ministry of Lands are already users of this technology. We have great subject specialist experts present to impart and share knowledge, beginning this morning with a keynote address from our minister. We also have Professor Alexandra Caldas, who is the Chief of Country Outreach, Technology and Innovation Branch from the United Nations Environment Program. We are expecting Honorable Otichilo, MP for Emuhaya, a great user of GIS, and former Director of Regional Center for Mapping Resources for Development, RCMRD. We have Christelle Usik. Where is Christelle? Somewhere? She's outside, I guess. And Karsten Bjornsson. Karsten, are you in, or you have given room to the guests? Those two have come all the way from Esri Inc. to also share their knowledge in land use and GIS in utilities. Ladies and gentlemen, when we talk GIS, you all know that ArcGIS as a web GIS platform is a platform for all workflows. It enables employees to easily discover, use, make maps from any device, and share it from anywhere. ArcGIS, as we say, is a platform for everybody. Professional GIS users, executive officers, and all of your knowledge workers would appreciate and find GIS a useful tool. In summary, ArcGIS location enables all workflows, processes including field mobility, analytics, data management, decision making, and constituency engagement. And this is what we shall be talking the whole of this week. Ladies and gentlemen, a brief glimpse into the program reveals a mixture of user presentations, technical workshops, an informative exhibition hall next door. At the conference, we shall also include the Arc Safari, as mentioned by my colleague, to Kakamega Forest. It will be such an experience to see the environment, to discover our environment, and it will be an experience never like it before. Please join us on Saturday, to Kakamega Forest. At this point then, let me give you a brief of what shall be doing. After our presentation, or our opening speech from the county government of Kisumu, we shall have the CS open the exhibition, and then we go for a photo session just across by the swimming pool. Then we come for tea and back for the CS speech. I will not be fair if I could end my speech there without recognizing that there are people who supported us to host this event. We have our co-sponsor, Core Tech Systems and Solutions, among other sponsors, whom you will also visit at the exhibition conference. With these few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, I see the room is getting hot. Maybe the temperature should be reduced to 17. Here it is 22, so that we can feel comfortable as we hear the representative of His Excellency the Governor of Kisumu, Mr. Obura, the Chief Lands Officer, to open this conference, and thereafter a keynote address from the CS Lands. Mr. Obura, karibu.
Good morning, all. My name is Derek Obura, an architect, but the Chief Officer for Lands, Housing, Fiscal Planning, Kisumu County. I'm here to represent the governor who was supposed to be do what I am doing right now. The professor and the team from the Lands, Housing, Fiscal Planning, Nairobi, to our visitors from outside, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, and everywhere else, including Kisumu and the whole of East Africa, to everybody who has come, I want to say good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure and privilege to join you today for this conference that has brought you here and all the key players in the spatial data management across Eastern Africa and the world. Rarely do people from such a rich, diverse background come together in order to share ideas and experiences with a view to developing a new agenda for prosperity in the GIS world. I therefore take this early opportunity to welcome you to Kisumu County. Feel at home, enjoy all the facilities and all the attractions that we have in Kisumu, including Acacia. I would also like to sincerely thank the Managing Director of Esri Eastern Africa for taking the initiative of bringing us together with other partners in such a forum, particularly in Kisumu. I want to believe that I will not see another conference like this that Esri will have done in Kisumu. I don't, this is just from probability. When you look at the whole world, there'll be conferences in the whole world. And this one has come when I'm just here. I just want to be very happy and I want to continue thanking him again for thinking about Kisumu. But that is not to say that next year you will not bring him to Kisumu again. We have another venue which we can offer again. As Kisumu County, we also face a number of challenges like everywhere else. Challenges like inadequate revenue collection, inadequate spatial data on social and economic activities, and controlled developments, limited citizen engagements and participation in decision-making, among many others. The County Government Act underscores the importance of GIS in county governments as indicated in Section 105, 108, and 110 for county planning, that is fiscal and socioeconomic planning, promoting public participation and access to information. On the other hand, GIS that for which we are here for is a system designed to capture, store, and manipulate, analyze and manage and present all types of spatial and geographical data. It enables creation of tools that allow users to create interactive queries, analyze spatial information, edit data in maps, and present the results of all these operations to aid decision making. GIS provides a solution to the challenges faced by these counties by offering a solution for land rate collection, physical planning, and plugging gaps in service delivery. GIS offers tools for business permit management, data capture so as to maintain an up-to-date database and a data sharing platform with other departments and the public. we as Kisumu County had an engagement with Esri a while ago, and we've been able to purchase and set up a system through the support of Esri. I know they are the host of this seminar. Once fully implemented, we expect that the system will facilitate us to develop a centralized spatial database with attribute information on all aspects in a given country in Kisumu. Visualization of resources, distribution in Kisumu County to point out spatial injustices concerning the distribution of resources and where gaps exist, hence enabling decisions supported by that. I want to just mention that there's been in the news many times throwing of chairs and people fighting in our assemblies. And I want to start believing that with Esri in place, this is a thing of the past. Sharing of spatial data between the county and the stakeholders via the web, creation of interactive maps showing citizens how investments impact their neighborhoods and help government leaders make informed decisions for the greatest good. This event will provide a platform for us to network with peers, discover emerging trends in other counties, and gain useful insights from technology and industry experts. Once again, I want to thank the organizers of the workshop and hope for engaging and fruitful deliberations. As Kisumu County, we want to welcome you again, even as we start this conference. Thank you.
All right. Good morning once again. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Eric Gumi. I am General Manager of Technical Services, Cortex Systems and Solutions, here to represent Tobias Otieno, our CEO, who unfortunately couldn't make it. But we are here this morning as gold sponsors, very proud to be partners of Esri, and we'll be just briefly talking about what we do and why we are here as partners in this conference. So basically, Cortex Systems and Solutions is a company that was begun in 2002 locally here in Kenya. But over the years, we've grown to expand our reach in about 6 countries across West, East, and Central Africa. And what we do mainly, we focus on enterprise solutions. We began with solutions based on ERPs, enterprise resource planning, where we continue to expand into CRM, into document management systems, and now moving on into GIS. Basically, during that span, we now have a portfolio of over 350 clients, spanning various sectors, parasocial public sector, NGOs, private sector, academia. We're also having quite a number of clients in the academic universities, a number of universities both in Kenya and abroad, and also mainly focusing on core banking solutions for microfinance and also for savings and credit companies. Now, during the time of our existence and in terms of service provision in enterprise solutions, we've seen a niche. Looking at market demands, there's been a gap, whereby as we've been providing the solutions for the entire enterprise, we've seen the need for end-to-end solution. So having begun with ERPs, we moved on to customer relations management solutions, and then to document management solution. And one gap that we found was the need of GIS. Now I'm glad to have heard this morning from Jack talking about pushing the envelope and incorporating GIS to all sectors. And from what we've seen from our portfolio, we have 4 key areas where we're specializing in terms of providing GIS-based solutions as part of the end-to-end systems based on the core ERPs, and then providing other solutions, the document management, CRM, and then the GIS. First of all is smart city solutions. And for this, we are proud to be providing the property management solution for Konza Techno City, which is being developed as a smart city from ground up. And for the same, we have incorporated GIS to map out, for example, services across the entire city of Konza, mapping 3D of the locations, the town as it is, and so on. So definitely, having been providers of the ERP, GIS comes in very handy there as a core solution in providing an end-to-end system. In terms of monitoring and evaluation, we have a client, Kenya Red Cross. So how do we incorporate the GIS? We're providing them a collaboration platform, whereby through GIS, we're providing them with systems that they can monitor and track, for example, volatile areas in terms of conflict management and so on. And with this, right now, we're doing a rollout across the entire country. We have teams that are moving across Kenya, deploying the same to their offices. We're using GIS, they're able to map out conflict zones in terms of emergency services, where they can reach that. And you can see these are mission critical solutions, where we incorporate the GIS into the foundation of enterprise solution. We also have a number of clients here. I think we are very proud to have had the CS launch the National Land Information Management Solution, which as Cotec we were able to develop. It was launched recently by CS here. And for the same, they're able to provide as part of the core mandate of National Land, incorporating GIS to the solution. People can, in terms of login, create an account, get to make your appeals as far as land is concerned and so on. So basically, we are providers of the solution for NLC. Again, we are glad to have incorporated integrated solid waste management solution. We have a client in Ghana called Jospong. And what they do is that they do garbage collection. Now, Jospong sets out maps of routes of garbage collection in Ghana. But then, there's a challenge here that they face. The routes are always where the bins are and where the towns are. They have to go manually checking whether the bins are full or not. But using GIS and incorporating Internet of Things, we've been able to put GPS tags on the bins. Upon the bin being full, the beacon starts sending out a signal. So they're able to map out using GIS the easiest route to take to collect garbage, thereby increasing efficiency by saving time, by saving in terms of resources, and definitely the cost. So we are looking at incorporating GIS not only to what we do as the core in terms of ERPs, DMS collaboration and so on, but ensuring that GIS is at the core. And I think, as was mentioned this morning, we have to increase the geospatial consciousness across the entire society. Now, for the same also, we have a number of other clients. Kenya Railways, we are providing the GIS. Definitely now we are rolling out the standard gauge railway. And Kenya Railways is the largest, thank you. Kenya Railways is the largest land property owner in Kenya. So to map out the path of the trains, both in the what has been concessioned, of which we are able to deliver the concession management solution, the first actually across Africa, and incorporate the GIS to the same. So you know that Kenya Railways conceded assets to Rift Valley Railways. This includes land, fixtures, for example, real estate, the bridges, and so on. Now, to map that out, as the train continues to develop, both for the standard gauge and the old railways, they need a GIS solution. So we've been able to incorporate GIS where it is at the core of certain industries, looking at NLC, and also for National Construction Authority. We've developed an app whereby those doing the inspections for registration and compliance walk around with an app. And then using, of course, the location features of the smartphones, they're able to get photographs of compliant and non-compliant buildings, thereby ensuring that compliance is at the standards which are meant to be across Kenya. So this was also launched recently, and we are very proud to be associated with them also. Same as Ketraco and so many others. Apart from that, we are looking at GIS incorporation in academics. For example, we have a number of universities. And for the same, a very simple app which tells the students, freshers and so on, where the location of the buildings are, where the location of the next class is. I mean, they've just come in, they're new, they don't know their bearings. So we're looking at this. At the core of Cortec is our provision of services to the financial industry. And we've partnered with some stakeholders such as Oracle, where we're now doing on the cloud data as a service. Recently, we engaged Google, where they came and they, through the energy department, they wanted to sponsor the use of electricity in remote areas. But one thing for them to give loans for the same is, can we find out geographically the regions where the volume of financial transactions is very high? And us as providers of financial solutions, we had to incorporate GIS to come and map out where are people most active at the microfinance level on mobile transactions, mobile money. Of course, for every mobile app, we incorporate GIS to tell you where's the nearest branch, where's the nearest ATM or agent, and so on. So we are looking at bringing GIS from across the spectrum in terms of all the high, as was mentioned, context and content. The managers at the top look at the context. The operations people at the bottom looking at the content. So Cortec, we've invested heavily in R&D, and we continue to do so across our domain in terms of our portfolio, clients in all those sectors, incorporating GIS to provide end-to-end solutions. So looking at what we do as partners of Esri, with GIS at the core, we are looking at data. I'm glad Jack mentioned about the platform being a workflow platform in terms of also integrations with other solutions through web services. We are providers of Microsoft Dynamics, gold partners of Microsoft on the same, but then also for cloud solutions, looking at Azure, platform as a service where they use their hardware, software as a service, accessing both GIS and the ERP, and then data as a service. All that running from cloud. So we've got more information to give tomorrow in the partners track. We also have a stand. And as Cortec System Solutions, we are proud partners of Esri as board sponsors of this. And indeed, we do wish you a pleasant and successful conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric. As he has said, we'll have more of this at the sponsored session, which will be tomorrow from 11:30 a.m. If you'd like to learn more about what our sponsors are doing, what our partners are doing, you can just attend that session. So next we'll have the presentation of SAG Awards. So every year we recognize the efforts being made by our users within our region through the special achievements in GIS awards that are given out to them at the Esri user conference, the main conference. So for the people in our region who got this award, we'll just have Judah coming to present the awards to them. So the first award winner is Ethiopian, it's called EATA. And since they are not present, we'd like to have our partners in Ethiopia to just come and receive the award on their behalf. Thank you. Yeah, so this is the Agricultural Transformation Authority of Ethiopia. Yes, there was.
This is Asta from Information Systems Services in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. You want to say something while the award is coming?
I'm glad to see you here. This is, as you know, our 11th user conference, which I always be excited to attend to, even though I started attending and started from the first one. And last year we had it in Addis. I think some of you were there. And we are also looking forward to host a similar leader conference in Ethiopia again, and I'm glad that we are also Esri partners here.
Thank you. Your award is coming. Have your seat.
Next, we will have the National Planning Authority of Uganda. So we would like to ask our clients from NPA to just come and receive the award.
They are receiving the awards in faith. Yes, come. How far is this award coming? Karibu. Yes, yes. Tell us what you do in Uganda.
Thank you, Esri. Ladies and gentlemen, we are really delighted to be here representing our country, Uganda. We have seen a number of Ugandan participants. I must say, we are not at the level yet of Kenya. We are spearheading the development of geospatial information in Uganda, although we have individual institutions that have taken on the mantle, like UMEME, the Uganda National Roads Authority, Minister of Energy, Minister of Agriculture. They are doing it individually, but as a planning authority, we are trying to bring together all these different layers such that under a portal, an integrated portal, one can analyze electricity distribution vis-a-vis the hospital distribution for planning purposes. So we are really delighted that we've been recognized for this.
Thank you. Tell us your name.
My name is Joseph Tenywa. I'm heading the ICT department in the National Planning Authority. And my colleague is...
Thank you so much. My name is Justine Harinate. I'm a planner in charge of GIS at the National Planning Authority Uganda. And just like my colleague has said, our heart beats for integrated planning, where we need to put all kinds of special data under one roof, and we can plan as we take note of what's happening in all the other sectors for integrated and harmonization kind of planning. Thank you.
Thank you. Receive your award in faith. We need to learn to improvise when we don't have. Thank you. The next one is coming.
And the final award is given to RhinoAct, which is an organization involved in conservation. So on behalf of them, we have a representative from the partner of RhinoAct. This is the Kenya Wildlife Service. We have Mr. Bernard Omari.
Welcome. Thank you. You will also receive your award in faith. Say something.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We know that GIS has been critical in our area of conservation. We've been partnered with Esri, and for each and every element of conservation that we use, GIS has been critical to that, and we look forward to continue working with them for that. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Bernard. Receive your award in faith. Thank you. We recognize those organizations. They have made a significant contribution to our society in the use of GIS. Continue doing the same. Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's truly an honor to be here. My name is Carson Johnson, and I am very happy to be here with you and share some of the thoughts we have had Esri for our vision with GIS. And it's already some of it being covered by Jack and Judah and Sohail in the introduction video. But I think we've titled this The Age of the Location Platform. And one of the things, the reasons why we're doing that will hopefully come to you, but we can all recognize that the world is changing. We now live in a culture. Oops. You'll have to look over there. Sorry. Can we get this one up here? Okay. So, apologies for this. But the thing is, like I said, we're now living in a culture where everything is connected, and the technology has improved a lot. Within the last decade, it's amazing what's happened. But what it is that we all now have mobile devices, and I can just look out amongst you, and you sit with your phones and your laptops and your tablets, and it allows us to connect to everything. We basically check for mails, news, entertainment. And one of the things that turns out is that one of the most sought services is location-based information. In fact, a research done by Pew Research Center shows that 74% of all adults in the United States use their smartphones to get directions or information about the location where they're at. I'm saying 74%. That's quite a lot. So if you somehow believe in the power of consumerization, we will probably expect to see much more demand for location-based information. And really what we will see is a demand to get authoritative location information, and we want to have insight about what it is that this location information contains. So it's not about turning everybody into becoming a GIS expert. Oh, I actually think it's okay. I just need to. That we need to turn everybody into a GIS expert, but it's more about bringing GIS to everybody. Work also used to be a place where we did our work. We came to work, we sat at our desk, and we would just do our daily work. We'll turn on the office computer, and then we'll start to work. Once we were done, we would turn off the computer and go back home. That's not how it is today. What we can do today is that we can work from anywhere. We can access our data from anywhere if we have access to the internet. It could be on the cloud, or it could be on the company servers. So the fact that we actually can move around, access data anywhere, is going to change the whole game. Also, when people use maps at work, they expect the data to be authoritative. They expect that they can trust data. This is very important. So there are requirements that, in order to avoid confusion, we need to make sure that we can sustain that trust. And also, when we talk about platforms, a lot of this technology, this handheld technology, is finding its way back into application, and we at Esri have worked a lot to try to accommodate that. But what people expect is something that's very easy to use, as easy to use as an iPhone. They want it to have, 3 clicks or less, and then I'm doing what I need to do. They want to make sure that they have uniformity in all their apps, and they want to be on one corporate system. It's not like you want to be in different systems. Everything has to be in one place. So the question really is, are you prepared in your organization to support these kind of trends? GIS is becoming smarter. And what I mean by that is that there are many new things that get integrated into GIS. There are many new tools. We can do more faster computing. We can introduce more remote sensing tools. And we can basically have advanced tools to analyze the data and get much better insight. We can look at 2D and 3D data. We can do space-time analysis now. So it'll give us, like I said, insight, give us an understanding of what might happen in the future and what we need to do to reach that place. And then you can ask, well, is he just pulling a leg here? Well, I'm not. Really, it is already happening. And I think you might have seen some of it. So in this case, we have 3 applications. Let's take a look at the one on the left side. So what that is U.S. Geological Survey. What they've done is that they have developed an application, an earthquake application. And what it does is that if you subscribe to this service here, it will literally alert you if there is an earthquake nearby, and allow you to either go under a doorway or duck under a table or get out of the building. The second one in the middle is NOAA, who stands for all the weather data in the United States, and what they do is that they have digital terrain models, but they also have weather forecasts. So when you have a weather forecast coming out with precipitation, rain, it can actually predict how much rain is going to go through the whole river system and how much the rivers will rise, and by that they can send out early warnings so people can start to evacuate areas or do mitigated efforts. And it can also be about community engagement, where you basically say, well, we're going to do some developments here in this area. You lay it out on the web, and people can provide comments and provide input back to you as, for example, a planner, so you can incorporate their comments. Just hang on a second. WebGIS connects everyone, and it's basically creating a system of engagement between people, individuals, and organizations. It provides context and helps us understand what's going on. And it, according to Jack, creates the common language that we all communicate from. Maps are important in that. And they will help us understand, and they'll help us to act. But it is really about integrating everything. It's about integrating and connecting people and processes and things and information about things and data about things. It could be that we keep the system of records, the authoritative data. We provide certain access to it so people can get engaged into this, and they can get insight. So what WebGIS does is it combines these things and creates a single platform that really brings the full picture for everybody. It allows organizations to actually understand what's going on, and increasingly in real time be aware and be responsive. But most important is that it can help us break down barriers, can help us connect with each other and bring everything together. And I think the first speaker already alluded to that quite a bit. So what do we mean by smart GIS? Well, it's really a variety of things, actually. It's about connecting real-time information. It's about connecting the Internet of Things, but also remote sensing and measuring the built environment and changes. Basically, it's getting us to understand. And what it also does is that it provides a platform, it provides tools to generate advanced analytics and visualizations. And a lot of you have already done that. I think some of the SAG Awards have reflected this. But it's about bringing in spatial analysis and geoprocessing to basically understand what's going on. It allows us to now, as one of the first things, bring in big data. And big data is going to be a big thing in the future. But what we can do is that we're basically starting to building the technology to consume big data and do real-time processing of this, so we better can understand what's going on, understand it faster, and can respond faster. So let's explore what's going on a little bit more. When we talk about the Smart GIS platform, we work with three concepts, and I already have mentioned them a little bit, but I really want to go back and emphasize this. First of all, GIS is a platform for system of records. So this is where we have the authoritative data. And this is very important. As more and more data becomes available, we need to ensure that that data is authoritative, that we can trust it. And how do we do that? Well, one of the things is that we need to agree that there are certain standards and guidelines to the data. So it's not only the data, but it's also the processes with which data gets created needs to be authoritative. And we need to make sure that we have responsible organizations that follows the data and the guidelines, follow processes and generates the data. And they have authority to do so. So that's a system of record. But also what we need to think about is we need to turn that data into insight. So one thing is to actually collect the data, but more importantly, it's really about taking that data and get insight. and get wiser so we can make these smart decisions that JAG is focusing on. So one of the things that we can do with the insight is that we can literally understand what it is the data is. We can measure things. We can see, well, how much rain did it come? You know, how much does this expand? How much did this contract? We can determine where things are and how they're related. So for example, in land administration, if you have a parcel, what's the building on it? Or if you have a building, what's the parcel on it? And what planning zone is it? You can find things. You can basically detect and quantify things. If we go back to finding things, it's also about how to get from place A to place B. It's about where should I put certain sites, doing spatial or location and allocation analysis. And we can do trend analysis. We can, based on the data, we can do trend. We have very, very powerful tools in our product suite that can do that. The third thing, so we have system of record, we have system of insight. The third thing is system of engagement. How do we actually share all this information? How do we get this information out so people can start to understand, can react on it, engage with it? The GIS platform takes these three things and brings it all together. One of the big things, and looking a little bit in hindsight, if you look at the system of engagement, remember my first slides about how the mobile technology is really driving everything, and it's driving GIS. The fact that this technology now starts to demand, the consumers are starting to demand something from organization that has location-based information is really pulling that forward. So all the things I'm talking about here is becoming more and more important for every minute. So what we need to do is to make sure that we have the data content in place such that it can be consumed and meet the demands. ArcGIS really is the location platform that can support all this. And it's basically where you build your smart GIS. It allows you to set up authoritative data structures in data models. It allows you to consume data sources. So if there are other authoritative data sources that you will need from other organizations, you can consume that in and build information products. You can set up authoritative work processes inside the platform so that you make sure that processes are repeatable. You can manage security. You can perform analysis on data. And you can create and share information products. You can create new information products from existing information products. And it's a very open environment for expansion and integration to other systems. So in short, one of the things that's important here is to understand that this platform can actually create the backbone for any management and dissemination of location-based information in any enterprise system. ArcGIS is a platform where you can allow your users to get access to maps and location-aware information across the whole enterprise. It actually empowers people to take that information at any point in time, anywhere in the world, on any type of device. So we're not bound by the office anymore. We can access our information. And this is one of the big things that we're at Esri are focusing on, is how can we share this more and more, and I think Jag alluded to that in his video. The Internet of Things, we can connect to Internet of Things, we can absorb all this information, we can integrate, display, analyze, and enrich this information, and share that out to the users. This is where all things GIS meet. We can actually empower people to discover and use and make and share location information on any device. Sorry. We can have maps that works. It can be authoritative information. It can be an inventory of your assets and resources. So in this case, it could be certain hydrants. It could be where your parcels are, where your addresses are, where your mailboxes are, and so forth. It could be that you want to see changes that somehow impact your business. So if you look at the picture here, you can see it before and after the Hurricane Sandy. And that could be used for damage assessment by insurance companies, or it could be used for emergency response to say where are the most critical areas to hit. And by using web maps, and this is by the way a web map,